Now, a few tips on what to avoid while you're writing for social studies, English, or for any teacher who asks you to write. Follow these tips and your writing will improve tremendously, as well as lead to happier teachers. And remember, kids, a happy teacher makes for a better class. First of all, avoid I statements. There are a few examples written below. You will all be tempted to write these, and I understand why. It is actually what you think. But saying that you think something actually weakens your argument. Your reader will know that you think something because you're writing it. Saying I think this or that actually weakens it. For example, look at the bottom thesis in red. Dogs are better pets than cats is a stronger thesis than I believe dogs are better pets than cats. Mostly because you can't argue with what someone believes, but if you just come out and say it, it makes a strong statement that can be arguable, and that makes for a good thesis. Not only will avoiding I statements make your writing less redundant, but it will help in making your thesis more arguable and strong. When you're a beginning writer, it is sometimes easier to tell your reader what you're going to do instead of just showing them. It fills space and it looks like you wrote more. But for educated readers, such as your teachers, this is unnecessary. At its mildest, this usually leads to I statements, but at its worst, it wastes space better suited for strong evidence. Longer work isn't better, and there are few things worse than reading something very long that doesn't get down to business quickly. Rule of thumb. A short, strong paragraph is better than a meandering one. Conclusions may be the hardest part of writing because it's so similar to a thesis. That only means you have to work harder to be more creative. Cookie-cutter conclusions, such as the ones listed below, show that you have not followed through to finish your work, like an Olympic sprinter who slows down right before the finish line. You want to be strong all the way through your writing, and while we deal with good conclusions in later videos, these options and anything like it should be avoided. Take a risk. It's so much better to attempt and fail than to fall back on these old standbys. You must look over your work before handing it in. Always. No questions. Even a rough or first draft deserves a thorough proofreading before you hand it in to your teachers. Your teacher should not have to point out obvious spelling, punctuation, and grammar errors. That is up to you. Your citations should all be properly formatted, and if you forget how to make them, well, there's a handy video that you can consult to get it right. Each kind of writing has a specific format for giving it a name and a heading. Make sure that you follow all of these. Until you get used to doing all this and it becomes habit for you, I might suggest reviewing these short videos after you write to make sure you have covered all your bases. So remember these 4 pitfalls for your writing and you will be successful all year. If you keep these in mind and make a habit of avoiding them, you will improve quickly and make happy campers of everyone involved, you, your parents, and your teachers. Thank you and happy writing!